Alright, y'all, I'm actively coming down with something again, working with kids, but today's Chronicles is talking about the children's inability to speak to each other, conflict resolution skills, but it's not even necessarily conflict, it's just the energy that these children are choosing to use actually creates a space of conflict. A young lady walked by a young gentleman, and apparently she has a thing about touching his hair, or maybe it was a one-off occurrence, I don't know, but such and such, stop touching my hair. And I'm just like, okay, why is that your first response to someone touching you? And I had the conversation, like, if it's a chronic thing and she continues to touch you, then you're gonna have to check her. Like, I already told you, but it doesn't need to be a disruption immediately. They automatically jump to 10. Like my previous video where I was talking about these kids are just automatically fight mode, and it's like, how do we get to 10 before we went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0? Like, zero's a number. That's what my kindergartner told me. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why are we automatically starting on 10? It's because our home environment, we live on 10. Another example is when someone said something and just responding to the other student, like, we have 5 minutes. No, actually, we have 4 minutes. No, actually, we have, like, everybody's no, actually. You have to understand what you're demonstrating in your home. Your children are now exaggerated versions of you. So when you're correcting your children, like a great example of that is Angel and saying anyway. My transition that I use is anyway. So I'll be talking and I'll get sidetracked. Y'all know how I do. And then I'll be like, okay, well, anyway, and I'll transition. And it's light, it's a fluffy, it's a anyway, yeah. But the way that Angel delivers it, she's like, okay, anyway. And so it's kind of dismissive. So you have to understand that you may not be cognizant of the demonstration of language that you're, giving your child, but, they're just little versions of us, and they're going to try to work in the aspects of us that they relate to into their behaviors and vocabulary. So these children, when they're just like, no, actually, they don't know how to experience disagreements. I won't say conflicts, but I will say disagreements. So if someone says, I think the sky is blue, and somebody's like, well, I think it's a teal green. Why can't we just have a conversation? This is why you and your spouse can't sit and actually have a conversation and move into a space of cooperation, because we don't know how to have opposing viewpoints, okay? So we need to pay attention to that. What we're demonstrating in our home, first, our children need to have voices, okay? So our children are allowed to have their own thoughts and ideas. It's imperative, because if your child does not have their own thoughts and ideas, not in my home, a kid doesn't have a brain until they turn 18 or they get up out of my house or they pay a bill. Oh, if you do not allow your child to think, you don't understand. I'm asking these kids to answer questions, and they cannot answer questions because they're so used to people feeding them ideas. Please stop feeding your children ideas. Please stop answering questions. Please develop the patience to allow your child to figure things out for themselves, because if you do not teach your children to figure things out for themselves, they get in a classroom and a teacher does not have 10 minutes to walk your child. I have all day because I'm a sub. I could get through, if we get through one page on this packet, so what? I'm teaching you how to think. I don't have any objectives to hit. A classroom teacher does. They don't have time to teach your child how to think. They're just going to feed them the answer. So if you're not allowing your child to think because you are in control and you control everything, and your teachers don't have time to allow your child to think, when is your child provided the opportunity to learn how to think? And now they're on a job and they can't think for themselves. Now they can only get lower rung jobs, because the higher rung jobs, you actually have to have deductive reasoning skills. You have to be able to think for yourselves. So you are really crippling your child by not allowing themselves to just take a few seconds. I don't know isn't an answer. I'm sorry. I can come back to you, but I want an actual answer. I want a thought out answer. And if you give me a surface level answer, let's dive a little deeper. What do those words that you use, what do those words actually mean? Okay, so this is a good class. I'm not really fighting with them too much about getting them to be compliant. They're getting their work done. They're chatterbugs, of course, but being an independent thinker and the ability to have opposing viewpoints and the ability to communicate with people that you may or may not vibe with. I don't like you, so I gotta treat you this way. Nah, we cool. I don't like nobody. We all cool, right? So it's just a vibe check. It's really just seeing how, when your kids talk to you, how you respond to them. Are you responding to them like this? Because guess what? They're going to wait for their opportunity to respond to somebody like this too. And they're going to school and they're responding to each other like this. And now you wonder why your kids are always in conflict, because you ain't going to talk to me any kind of way. Because why? I'm going to respond to you like this too. And now we match in energy. And some of us, we just automatically shoot to 10. So you have to understand the spaces that we're setting our children up to be in conflict simply because we move in a particular energy. We respond a certain way because our kids don't deserve mutual respect. The sooner we give them mutual respect, we teach them mutual respect. I sit here and watch these kids walk past their peers and don't say thank you for holding the door. Don't show gratitude. Don't help each other out. Why? Because they don't know mutual respect. Why? Because nobody shows them respect. Why? Because they're children. We hustling backwards, y'all. I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down.